Hi, welcome to another episode of Spyt-Takes. I'm Jens Anderson, aka Spittle.
And I'm Ellen Anderson.
And there's Penny. And here's Bunsen.
And Bill.
Great, now I have to block that out or somebody's gonna do a copyright claim on YouTube. Freaking copyright claims! They're so unfun.
Hey, YouTube.
Hey, Saturday Night Live. NBC. Taunt them. Don't taunt them anymore with that. All right, so we're going to talk about the episode called Suicidal Tendencies, which was very interesting. They kind of build it as this huge showdown between Ray Palmer as the Atom and the Arrow, mm-hmm. right? And we certainly did see that, and we'll get to that. It was the first time we saw the suit truly in action with Ray Palmer in the Atom suit. We also had a storyline going on with Diggle getting married. In fact, the whole thing kind of starts out at Diggle's wedding. And we see him get married. And oddly and freakishly, the minister for the wedding can't show up. Oh, and guess what? Ray Palmer happens to be a minister.
How convenient.
So Ray Palmer does the vows, or does the officiates the ceremony, and he was witty and funny and charming, and they did it so that Ollie could watch Felicity, reacting to Ray, and kind of get that whole jealousy thing reinforced, which came into play later because while Arrow is being framed for all of these brutal killings, and by the way, the first time we see one of these sort of Team Imposter Arrow doing their thing, it's one guy up at a catwalk and he's like shooting arrows down on these dudes with automatic weapons, and he does this badass maneuver, one of the coolest maneuvers I've seen on Arrow. No Cirque du Soleil ninja about it, right? Like, he just jumped, like this was some League of Assassins shit that didn't use a fucking silk curtain to get him down on the ground. He jumps and grabs this cable on this block that's meant to like lift heavy stuff, kind of twirls around it, does a little foot tap on the block, and then jumps down onto the ground and continues kicking ass. I mean, really a fantastic move. Takes out all the guys, and then he himself gets shot by Ollie, because Ollie shows up on the scene. And then he removes his hood, and we realize, oh my god, that's not Raish. It's just a normal League guy. And Ollie fights him, beats him up, and 3 more appear. And so now he's fighting 4 of himself. Kind of cool. I wondered if Stephen Amell did the stunt work.
I don't know.
What do you think?
How many Amels are there, do you think?
Maybe all of those stunt people were Amels. Maybe that was the whole Amell clan in that scene, and we just don't know it.
Could be.
It's possible. It's possible. We'll have to ask the show creators. How many Amels were in that scene? None? 1? Or 5. Let's see. What were you talking about? Oh, yeah. So Maceo shows up and basically tells him, this is all to persuade you to do the right thing, to take this offer.
It's the prophecy. You have to do this.
Exactly. And so that storyline kind of continues on.
Which is weird for me, because Maceo kind of made that prophecy happen.
Yeah, he did. I still think there's a false prophecy there because it wasn't his sword. But anyway, it was Ollie's sword. I still think that's going to come into play.
You think about it, I'm kind of like, okay, Maceo, you're really taking this prophecy seriously, but you're kind of helped this prophecy happen.
Yes. Because
you were really instrumental in saving Arrow's life.
It's true.
So that's pretty confusing for me.
And it gets really confusing for Maceo later, too. All right, so anyway, Ollie is at this fight, and the Atom shows up, right, Ray Palmer, and he does some X-ray imaging on the Arrow, and he learns that, oh my god, the Arrow is Oliver Queen. Right. Which is crazy, because this is like back-to-back episodes of CW, DC superheroes being unmasked by someone, and their identity shared. It happened on Flash with Captain Cold, and now it's happening on the Arrow with the Atom. Very interesting stuff there. Anyway, the Atom is going on a big crusade, to kind of stop the Arrow from killing, which really the imposters. And he learns about his Ollie's involvement as the Arrow, and he's crushed because he can't trust Felicity. He feels like Felicity knew and has been keeping the secret. And he's right. He's totally right.
Right.
But as you said when we were watching, what'd you say?
I'm like, it's not her secret to tell.
It's not her secret to share. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Like, she's like, someone else has entrusted her with this information. So that's not something, if it was just her secret,
right.
she probably would have told him, but it's not her. It's not her secret to share, to tell.
And if he wasn't such a dope of a man, as all men are, apparently,
men, big gossips,
dopes.
Boop.
Well, no, not even that. He would realize that, oh, well, this bodes really well for her keeping my secret that I'm the Atom, right? Like, I mean, if she's gonna keep Ollie's secret, then she'll probably keep my secret too. So that's a good thing.
So for me, I was kind of like, wow, he's being really hard on her, and I'm like, kind of not fair.
Yeah, not fair at all, especially when he's running this secret vigilante crusade as well.
I was like, okay, Ray Palmer, you're just a big baby.
Yeah, big baby with pink eye that episode.
Yeah,
poor
me
poor
too.
Brandon
My
Routh.
eyes in the same shape.
No way, his was like red. You couldn't even see the difference. Anyway, let's not get on that. Everybody's human.
He did. He had some kind of pink eye.
He had the conjunctivitis or something.
He had poop eye.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, so he and Felicity are going through these troubles. So he basically calls a 911 call to get the Arrow and Arsenal to show up at a scene, and he shows up. And you know what? I've been defending the Atom suit and the fact that it's going in the direction it's going, and saying, they'll shrink him eventually. They're just doing this for other reasons. They're not trying to turn him into Iron Man. I commented back to somebody that was worried about that.
Because we hadn't seen it in use yet.
Yeah, well, we saw it in use this time, and it's freaking Iron Man. Like, I mean, he does a hand blast, and he charges it with a... I mean, God, I would have thought they lifted the charging whine from Iron Man. It was very, very, like, really crazy similar. Like, I mean, it's blatantly going the direction of Iron Man. The sound effects, the weaponry, the suit itself, wow. I was shocked. I was really shocked that they went that far with it. Like, you'd think they would have done some other sound effect to charge up the amping up of the emitter or whatever it is. Wow. So they have this fight. Looks like Ray's doing okay, but he's very much not. He does kind of shock and electrocute Arsenal.
Yeah, he starts off kicking ass, basically.
Right, but then Ollie Ollie can't pierce his armor with an arrow, so Ollie uses an explosive arrow, which knocks Ray back up into the air. But Ray recovers. Ray comes down and tries to knock him off his feet, and does. Ollie gets up and realizes very quickly where the power is coming from on the suit, and just does a little throwing dagger right onto this area of the suit, shorts out the suit, and it powers out.
Find the weakness and exploit it.
Exactly, and his whole point to Ray, which was so true, is that, look, I am trained. Like, I know how to do this stuff. You are like me week 1 on the island. You do not know what you're doing. And you are going to get yourself killed. Which was this whole point, I think, of Suicidal Tendencies. Is that you're rushing into something you are ill prepared for. Ollie tries to tell Ray, these are the baddest of the bad killers in the world. You are in way over your head, even with the suit. And Ollie proved it right there. Just one dagger throw. Boom. You would have been dead.
So that was pretty humbling.
If that were Ray
Palmer,
you'd have been dead. Absolutely dead. Yeah, really humbling for Ray. He even says to Felicity, my ego's bruised, my back's sore, my rotator cuff is pretty bad. But they get back together and everything's good. And I think Ollie taught Ray a valuable lesson. Which will be interesting because maybe he'll actually start training Ray in how to use his suit. Because Arsenal loved the suit. Arsenal thought it was really badass that he had a super suit. Which I thought was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So that was that storyline. And then we have this other one with Diggle getting married, which is at the wedding. The first reports of the murders start coming in, and then the whole thing we talked about unfolds. And interestingly enough,
they didn't go to Fiji.
They go on a mission with the Suicide Squad. Deadshot shows up in their limo.
Worst honeymoon ever.
They seem to be digging on it. I don't know, but yeah, they've had second thoughts throughout. But they got the Suicide Squad together. It was Diggle, his wife, Cupid, and Deadshot. And The flashbacks for this episode, because every episode has flashbacks, which is really interesting to see how, if they're going to be able to keep that up believably all the time. Because the Hong Kong stuff with the kid and was just bad, the MacGruber wig. And now this time
so tired of seeing that wig, man.
That wig's got to go. They go into Deadshot's kind of history of becoming a criminal, and it's really about he was obviously a sniper in the military, and he killed a lot of people. He comes back, he's drinking a lot, can't bond with his daughter, he's yelling at his daughter, he
little violent anger management issues.
Very much. He pulls a gun on his wife, and then it goes all wrong from there. He gets arrested. That's where he gets plucked out and put onto the Suicide Squad, and his first mission is to kill Diggle, which was really weird. Those were the flashbacks. Now we're in the present, and he's working with Diggle, and he's got the scar and the eyepiece.
Cares about Diggle.
He seems to, actually. So maybe there's something going on there with Diggle. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have had something to do with Diggle's brother getting killed. Maybe that was actually his brother. I might have missed something in season 2 or not recollecting. Anyway, let's move off that because I might be forgetting something here, which I'll have to research and clarify. But interesting episode because they go to respond to a hostage situation and the senator is involved. And it turns out the senator had actually done the whole thing for publicity and PR reasons. He was trying to be a big hero.
Just like a politician.
I know, right? That's how Harry Reid got all busted up. He tried to some grandstanding stunt where he was going to save everybody from the mob, but no! It went bad. He fell down, broke his eye socket. I don't know where I'm going with this. He's the only injured senator I know about right now. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so that goes wrong. They're gonna blow up the building, and Deadshot goes out like a hero. At least he apparently does. He takes the roof and gives them cover with a sniper fire, and they take out all the mercenaries, and he helps them get out of the building, and then he's on top of the building when it blows up. And creepily, Cupid had bonded with him and started stalking him. So
poor Deadshot.
I know he was not happy about that at all.
He's got a stalker now, basically.
He does. Well, maybe his death will. Although I doubt he's dead. He must have escaped somehow. He probably wanted to stage his death so he can get out. The new Suicide Squad comic for the New 52 was probably my favorite book. And a big part of that was Deadshot. He was ever present throughout the whole thing, and he was awesome. He was so awesome. He was their leader. He was really skilled. They made him into a total badass. And he sort of understood how the politics of the Suicide Squad worked. And I really got that feeling from him, this time around in this episode of Arrow.
Yeah, he's not dead.
No, I don't think he's dead either. There's no way they could kill him. They got to keep that Suicide Squad thing going. They did a good job with him on the show. I think that character also showed up on Smallville at one point, and I really, really like this personification of it a lot better. I think it's very cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we missed. Oh yeah, the climax. Crazy. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. So there's this whole tension between Ollie and Felicity and Ray, and Ollie wants Felicity to be happy, but he doesn't want, because she was with a normal guy, which is Ray, but then he finds out that Ray is the Atom, and they have a confrontation, and he doesn't want her to be with a guy that's like him, because if she's gonna be with a guy that's like him, then why can't she just be with him? It's like this whole weird messed up relationship thing going on, and in the end it comes down to Felicity being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and one of the Green Arrow imposters shoots the mayor, and all of a sudden you see an arrow. You see a view from outside the window of the office, and Felicity's standing in the window freaking out about the mayor getting shot, and you see this view from the arrow. It turns around, and it's Maceo in the arrow hood, in the costume.
Right.
His friend, right? And it cuts to black, and you hear the whine of the arrow being released from the bow, and you have to assume it was heading toward Felicity. Maybe not, but maybe.
Because League of Assassins, I think she already would have been shot with that arrow. He was taking way too long. Normally it would be like there'd be no hesitation. So I don't think that.
Oh, he looked pained about the decision.
So,
But they definitely cut before you see him do anything. But you hear the arrow go. So whether that was something to mislead you, we'll see.
I think it was I could have killed you, and this is a warning. Next time.
What does he have to give a warning to Felicity for? You mean I could have killed
This-
her?
This
Is that what you mean?
This
Like
is
he's
a warning to Ollie.
so I could have killed her. Not I
And
could have
Ollie's
killed you.
gonna know that like next time it's gonna go and it's gonna hit her.
Right.
Your loved ones are gonna go next time.
Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So we'll see where that goes. Maybe Black Canary under the tutelage of her new teacher.
So what
will
Ollie
do
needs
well.
is a good attorney to go and look
She'll
at
be
this
able to help.
prophecy. And
Yes.
Because I just riddled loopholes for
Yeah,
me.
find me a way out of this prophecy.
I think he could even see a paralegal at this point.
I'm telling you, I have the solution. It wasn't Roz's sword. Roz took my sword. Roz stabbed me with my own sword. It wasn't Roz's sword.
And there was interference. He just didn't survive that on his own.
Interference. Expect a flag to come up.
Oh, there
A
was
whistle.
That is like the worst prophecy. It's like loosely written. It's terrible. It wouldn't hold up in a court of law.
Well, we'll have
So-
to see what happens after that big cliffhanger next time, whether or not how Maceo's arrow flew and who was the target. So we'll see. For all I know, he was standing on the building that Felicity was in, looking at the assassin trying to shoot her, and he shot the League of Assassins guy and saved her. We don't know.
You know
We're
what he
gonna
needs
see.
to shoot? He needs to go back in time and shoot that damn wig.
He needs the Flash to run him back in time and cut Ollie's hair. That's what he
No,
needs.
we need to shoot that wig.
Should just shoot it dead.
It's like an apple on Ollie's head. Just this, that wig is awful. It's the MacGruber wig. I hate that wig. And every time that I see him, I'm like, MacGruber.
Well, thankfully, we didn't have to deal with that. We had Deadshot flashbacks this time. So we'll see what flashbacks we have next time. I always like it when they do two things. Flashbacks to the island and flashbacks to a supporting character. Those I find very interesting. So I like it when they do that. When they did the Merlin flashbacks, I thought those were fantastic. Those were really great. Give some other actors to shine in terms of the origin of their character and how they got to be the way they are. Which I thought was cool. All right, so that's it. That's our episode of Spyt-Takes on Suicidal Tendencies from the Arrow this week. Look forward to the next episode next week. If you have some comments about our opinions about this, we want to hear them. Leave them in the comments of YouTube or send us a tweet with hashtag Spyt-Takes included. We're doing a new segment soon called Your Takes, and we want to hear your opinions about the episodes we talk about and our opinions on this stuff and what your take on it was, so we can read those on a new show format called Your Takes. So do that for us, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Later. It's almost medieval. It's like people have
Yeah.
like clubs, and I swear,
no.
I swear, there's some guy with like a shovel.
No, it
and
was a machine gun. You
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, why is the guy with the machine gun, like, holding it like, oh!
He's charging with it like it's a club instead of using it. I'm like, you just stand
Lay
back
down
and
some fire.
shoot. You just don't go, I'm gonna hit you with my gun. We don't really know what that is.
We don't.
My theory is like she finally had it because she was tired of the toilet seat being up.
Really?
I don't know.
What? Toilets are different in Asia, though. I don't even think they have toilets and
Yes,
seats.
they do.
No, it's like this, like 3-inch sunken. You just sort of squat over it and let it all
You
go.
wouldn't replace the toilet paper. These are all things that women divorce their husbands on. So.
Okay, I actually think it has to do with their son.
So yeah, totally. So it's like that's just got to be a probably almost a death kill right there.
Yeah, a death kill
Yeah.
as opposed to a life kill, or a death life. Or
Not what I meant to say. Fail on words.
I'm gonna death kill you now. Yeah.
I like your take on that because my take is awful. Mine is like Batman meets Downton Abbey.
Oh, maybe because yeah. No, I thought it was a nice
See,
little.
yours
nod.
is better.
Yeah.
Here's what I found on the web for Siri. Find me the nearest rising darkness.
The inside story of Siri's origins.
But then I
That's
got
a good
busy.
theory, actually.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
The brain.
Wow, I just got blown away. I just fell in love
Master
with you all over
Blaster.
again. Will you marry me again?
Maybe.
Anyway, well,
You're a bum. I don't know.
oh, I am a bum. I am a.
He's practically holding
Yeah,
his
like-
head back.